Hello, my name is Shalia Nelson. I go by Shay. My current position is I'm going to be staying at home. I'm expecting my first child, a boy, at the end of October. So I'll be staying home this year. But last year I taught sixth grade at Jackson Heights Elementary School, which was about 25 miles north of Topeka, Kansas. And then the year before that I taught second grade at Ross Elementary. So, second grade I taught all subjects. Sixth grade I taught reading, writing, language arts, and science. Who has had the most influence on my life or in my life would be teaching wise. I had a fifth grade teacher who just really impacted me, and I still keep in contact with her to this day. Probably my parents and my grandma on my mom's side and my great aunt on my mom's side. Just their experiences in life. They always supported me, pushed me, they were there for me. Still are. Well, my parents still are. So, they really influenced me, my husband too, just because we really support each other and just enjoy the same things, but I sometimes want to be more outgoing like he is, and vice versa. So we just have a lot in common and we really support each other. The results of my personality test were I scored like a 4 in extroversion, which makes sense. I am a very quiet person. I keep to myself. I can be shy. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a shut-in. I tend to rather stay home than to go out, depending on what we're doing. Um, I still go to concerts and stuff, but I am a very introverted person. I scored a 26 on emotional stability. Um, I would say I am emotionally stable. I just show my emotions a lot easier than other people do. And I can get very like excited about something or upset about something. It just really depends. Um, I scored really high in agreeableness. I scored a 62. So I am friendly to most people, depending. Um, and I can be optimistic at times. I would still kind of say I'm more in the middle for this one. Conscientiousness, I scored a 46, which seems about right because it's about in the middle. Um, I can be very careful and diligent about certain things, but I can also be very disorganized. Or I look very disorganized, but to me it's very organized. It just depends. Um, I'm not a very impulsive person, so that doesn't really apply to me. Um, I scored a 34 in intellect and imagination, so I can tend to be traditional, conventional on certain things, but I'm also open to new experiences, so it just kind of depends on what I'm doing and who I'm with and the situation I'm in with any of these as to how I will be. The leadership traits that I chose were transformational leadership theory. Um, they're often called quiet leaders, and I am a naturally quiet person. I tend to observe more before I actually do something. But I have a good rapport with people, with my students, so that's why it really stuck out to me. Um, I also want to lead by example, so that really seemed to fit for me too because as a teacher you really want to lead by example with your students and really um, have them do the right thing and have them have them do similar things to what you're doing and give them that a good example of what they need, what a good leader is. The other one I picked was authentic leadership. Um, this one because I'm a very open person for the most part. I'm very self-aware. So like it says they know their strengths, limitations, and emotions and they're aware of them, which I for the most part think I am. And they lead with their heart, which that really stood out to me because I really do lead with my heart. I really care about people and that shows especially to my students. Um, I'm also not one way in private and one way in public. I tend to be about the same. It may be more professional if the setting is a professional setting, but I don't hide my weaknesses. I don't hide them from my students. If I make a mistake, I'll own up to it because I want my students to know that it's okay to do that as well. So I just have that connection with my students. I have empathy for them, and we have that trust, and we can build those positive relationships with them, which every teacher wants as well. So those were the leadership theories I thought best fit me. There were several that I thought best fit me, but these were the two that really, really stood out to me. I look forward to learning and hearing from everybody this semester.